Paul Brown said to me, son, act like you've been there before. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, I just barely got on the field. I hadn't been there before. So
I'm glad to be part of that trend. You know, sun's out, guns out.
How about Isaac Curtis on one side, Charlie Joyner on the other side? A lot of quarterbacks were very envious that I had those two weapons to throw to. But
now, wait a minute. Is it fair that Pat McInally is still the sexiest guy on our team? Is that?
You got me there. You got me good.
Darling, how you gonna be in that video not represent with a chain and your tango, man? I got mine on. I'm ready to go.
Oh, that's great. That's priceless.
There are two guys that I think it's a travesty that are not in that Hall of Fame.
Ken Riley and Ken Anderson. Yeah, sure.
Put the backdrop on, Jamie. See if Marissa's okay with it.
Yeah, I got her backdrop. Starting the Canadian fan club up here for you.
That is so funny.
My last touchdown, and that's what Joe Burrow's going to end up like if they don't start protecting his ass. It's going to be the next David Klingler from David Klingler.
There's no Spanish-speaking people here, very few. So we, fast forward, we go to the Super Bowl in Miami, and the word was the Bengals have two big Mexican offensive linemen. They don't know how to speak Spanish. So I got down there and started doing these interviews in Spanish, and they're like, "Wait, we heard you don't speak Spanish."
What's going on, fellas? What's going on? But I got on the plane one day in an all red Suge Knight suit. And boy, Joe Walters and the linemen, they destroyed me. I thought for sure I was so clean. I had some gaiters on, all red suit on. I was Suge Knight. They roasted me.
The head coach was the really the pain in the butt. The Jerry Glenn, he thought he was. If you didn't know who he was, he walked out there like he owned his state. And I always say, if I could get a chance to hit him on the sideline, I would.
I'm tackling your ass, Pete. I'm shoestring low on you.
But I got to tell you, you would have been stepped on, son. You would have had cleats everywhere.
Well, I'm proud to be a Bengal. Yes, I'm proud to be a Bengal. Again, I got nothing from you guys.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Talking Football with Bengal Jim and Friends. And guys, Jamie's in the backdrop here today. He is producing a show in the background. Unfortunately, he had a close friend of his pass this afternoon, man. I've been dealing with some cancer. So, Jamie, we're thinking of you, thinking of him and his family, man. We thanks for staying with us, producing a show with us. James is out of town up in Chicago with his son, Cannon. So it's just us three on the screen today, but we have some big news, guys, really big news. Big announcement from Josh, our memorabilia guy, later in the show. Big-time announcement. If you're a collector of any kind, Josh is going to spill the beans for us here later in the show about his big announcement. And we got Eric Ball, director of former player and current director of player personnel for the Cincinnati Bengals, coming on about 8:15-ish with us. So big week coming up, guys. The first preseason game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this Saturday, and no Joe Burrow was the discussion here today, right? Is what I think I heard.
No Burrow.
Tom, you're muted. I'm sorry, buddy.
There we go. But an outstanding day yesterday, I think, put things back on track.
Yeah. The sky is falling from a small percentage of the fan base by not having maybe the best practices in the world, and things started clicking yesterday for sure in practice, and it sounded like they had a pretty good practice down there today as well. Tony, the Tiger, got an awesome video that I think went viral. A lot of local media picked up, where he showed Joe getting pressured a little bit, scrambled up the middle for about 20, 30 yards, looked like full speed. Not that we want to see him scrambling a lot, but he looked pretty damn healthy there, Tom. He did.
And, and they all did. I think the entire offense was in a better rhythm. The interesting part of this is, the one thing we're worried about is Joe Burrow's knee. Joe Burrow's healthy. Joe Burrow can run the offense. And it was Joe Burrow that went to the coaches and said, I need more pressure. I need more of a game-like setting. And he said it would one of those things he could work through because, as you saw, Jimmy, during drills, he's money. I mean, he looks like himself. If anything, he looks better. His arm's a little stronger. He's just as, if not maybe a little more accurate. They say he's rolling out. He's mobile. But so hopefully, a little more game-like situation, locked him in, shook some of the ghosts out of him, and he's ready to go. But yesterday was a good day, and today they're working on Tampa Bay.
Yeah, and I think Keith in the chat area is asking, was Burrow out as precaution this week? Yes, just out. He's fine, 100% healthy. They don't want him taking any necessary hits in preseason. Why play him at the end of the day? That's basically it at the bottom at the end of the day. So I want to thank just first preseason game this Saturday. I just can't wait to get going on this. I'm one of the geeks who love watching preseason games. Just because I love watching the young guys play and battle for some positions, put something good on tape. If they don't happen to make the Bengals, they got to put something good on tape to catch on with somebody else in the NFL. I love watching those young kids play. So I can't wait for this Saturday. Want to welcome our friends from Houday Nation, always watching us. Love those guys. So make sure if you're not subscribing or following their Facebook page, I think it's now, I think they're close to 20,000 followers now on that Facebook page. The biggest Facebook fan page on Facebook right now. So make sure you subscribe and follow those guys. And no matter where you're watching from us, we're trying to get our YouTube count up. Hit subscribe on our YouTube page if you could, follow across the board on our other social media platforms. We appreciate everybody. We have some big things coming up here. You want to make sure you're following, subscribing here as we continue to move forward. Real quick, Marcus Bailey, he went out yesterday, guys, on the cart, but he said he was back today. Did he get back at practice today? I didn't get a chance to follow up on that.
He was supposed to. I've heard or read nothing. I was not down for practice today, but he was supposed to. It was not something substantial, and he's kind of fought the injury bug since being at Purdue. He would have been maybe a third-round draft pick instead of a seventh. Had he not had some of his injury problems at Purdue, and hit a little of that when he came here last year, but he's looked spectacular and keeps maturing, but they did not seem to be worried about it.
Yeah, so we're getting a lot of messages that he was definitely there. So basically, just so everybody didn't know, he went out on a cart yesterday, and basically they called it dehydration, that he was dehydrated. Pretty hot in Cincinnati, guys, with the humidity. So with equipment on, that's pretty easy to do.
It's been a hot weekend.
91.
Yep, 91. All right, so real quick, just to remind everybody, next week we are changing our schedule. We're going to go to 8/17, August 17th, which is a Tuesday, just like we did last year. Right before the season starts, we're going to Tuesday night. Our duck race will be back that week. We got some charities kind of ready to roll. We've got a very special guest that we're confirming right now that will roll out here, a big one to get our new date going here for next Tuesday. So no next Sunday night. It will be the following. It'll be Tuesday, just as a reminder. And James wanted me to give everybody a quick update. I think we only have one spot left out of 16 for the fantasy football draft that we're doing, and it's going to benefit the Javonte Woods Foundation, which is Icky Woods' son. It's $50 for a spot. If you want that last spot, make sure you direct message us, and any of our social media platforms will get you in there. We do have a couple celebrities that are going to be part of this football draft, by the way. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and we'll have kind of weekly updates on the show here. Talk a little trash. I'm not coming in last. I don't care what James says. I'm going to have an all Bengals roster. I might even draft a kicker round one. We will see. But stay tuned for that. It's $50. All those proceeds go to the Javonte Woods Foundation. The winner of the league is getting an authentic Icky Woods signed jersey. So instead of getting cash, you will get an actual authentic Icky Woods jersey there. So,
hey, Jimmy, if you're going with the Bengals kicker, call it now. Who's going to win the kicking competition?
Oh man, that's a no-brainer, man. Evans got it, man. Evans got it.
Evans lose.
He's looked outstanding in practice. And Tony, I'm drafting Evan. I mean, you don't a first round, so you better get him before I do. So I want to talk a little bit about the Hall of Fame weekend this weekend, and just how special of a weekend it was. I was up there with the Pro Football Ultimate Fans Association. Tony the Tiger and I went up. We spent a lot of time. And Jamie, if you just throw up a couple of the pictures, this is a good. Just leave that picture up there. This is just a good group of folks right here. You got obviously Tony, Sean, John, and Bengal, Melissa, and Stu. They're representing Cincinnati in the parade. And guys, this wasn't just any like small town parade. There were thousands of people there on a 2.2 mile parade track that we walked in. And I will tell you, the crowd was probably the Browns fans, the Raiders fans, the Steeler fans, obviously the Raiders and Steelers fans because they had players being inducted. But then I would tell you the Bengals fans are probably about that fourth or fifth as far as orange and black in attendance, but a lot of fun. And it just, you can show the rest of those pictures if you want, Jamie. So that showed up on, I think, a local press page up there, their newspaper. There's Tony in the left-hand corner. And obviously, I had Ken Anderson and Ken Riley represented there. They didn't get the picture of Ken Anderson, but there's Ken Anderson right there on the float with our buddy Andy, Fireman Andy there, holding that up. So, and our buddy Sean Houday, baby. I told him I got a video that I was going to make a GIF out of that. I'm going to have to do that here in the next couple of days. But guys, I just want to talk about that this weekend because as special as it was, that Pro Football Ultimate Fans Association, us being part of that and being involved in that parade, it just kind of gives you a sick feeling knowing that it should be Ken Anderson, should be Ken Riley, should be Willie Anderson that we're up there celebrating. So I'm hoping this time next year, it's going to be Ken Riley or Ken Anderson, maybe even Willie Anderson, but one of those guys have to be in. And I want to fill up Canton, Ohio with orange and black with Bengal fans coming in from all across the country. It is going to be an absolute beautiful moment when we do that. But it just, there was a lot of Bengal fans up there, and there was a Browns fan that kind of stopped me on the parade route because he saw that I had a Ken Riley helmet. He had a brown shirt on, an older guy, and he was telling his son, he goes, that guy, that's Ken Riley. He should be in the Hall of Fame. That's coming from a Browns fan as I'm walking through the parade route. Just a great experience across the board. And if you've never experienced the Hall of Fame weekend up in Canton, guys, I'm telling you, you've got to make it a point to make it up there one day. Just a lot of fun. And I just can't wait for next year. I feel pretty confident about Ken Riley, at least. We'll see how that goes. But
I know watching the game, the national broadcast the other night, I think I told you, and I'd actually texted with the two guests that we've had on that at one point, while I'm happy for all those deserving guys, and God bless them, that the frustration just absolutely boiled over, especially for our two guys from the senior committee. But and for Willie Anderson too. So, I don't think we can tell everybody out there enough. Please, if you're on social media, keep putting the word out on these guys. Keep hitting them over the head with it. They'll say it doesn't matter, but there are those that have told me to the contrary that it has mattered these last several years. And, I haven't found I've found two that said one of those guys didn't belong in. When I hit him with the facts, I got a typical, I had no idea he accomplished all that. And he probably does deserve to be in. So, yeah, please keep putting it out there. Even the experts don't know everything about him. And it's, due to our market size and the perception of the team.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, just to give everybody another update, yesterday I was interacting with somebody who's involved with this process. And obviously we told you there's 5 committee members now that are making this senior vote here on this. We were told initially early to mid-August. It looks like it's going to be more that mid, a little bit later in August, but it is absolutely happening in August. We will know who that one senior player is here before the end of the month here. So keep it going, stay positive, keep pushing, and we'll do our small part as fans to supplement and help any way we can to help these guys out. So, well, guys, in the waiting room right now, we have Eric Ball. And before we bring him on, we're going to play a quick video clip of EB here. So, Jamie, if you could play this video clip and as soon as the video clip's over, go ahead and bring on EB. Welcome to the show, EB. What's going on, big dog? How you doing, buddy?
What's happening with you, man? Shoot, you my hype man. That's the most highlights I've seen of my career in 30 years.
hey, Eric, we're not done, but I got another couple good clips here we're going to talk about in a minute, buddy. We got a couple good ones, man. But it just brings back great memories seeing that stuff, though, man.
Well, I tell you what, the first thing I see when everybody talks about how big our shoulder pads were back then compared to what you guys are wearing now.
Yep. So, Eric, hey, just to let everybody know, we got a lot of people watching right now, EB, on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And YouTube. Eric Ball, director of player personnel with the Cincinnati Bengals, drafted in 1989 by the Bengals. He was a second-round pick, but he was the Bengals' first pick. We'll talk about that here in a little bit for that year. Eric, tell the viewers right now, help us understand. Obviously, we know you played for the Bengals for many, many years, had some great seasons with the Bengals. Explain to our viewers what your role is right now with the Cincinnati Bengals.
Okay, so I am the director of player relations. Okay, personnel is that's Duke's title. I can't take Duke's title. That he'll get mad at me for that. But being a director of player relations, I work with the players directly. I'm basically summing up their HR department. I help the guys get acclimated coming into the league, their rookie years. I'm 24/7, 365 with the guys. I help them during their time here, during their career, and then transitioning out. So I work with the alumni, the legends, as they call them now, with our club as well. And so it's around the four programs. Pillars really is continued education for guys who haven't gotten back into school, who haven't finished up, those who are interested in completing their degrees or getting an advanced degree. We get them back in school. We work with internships. Some players will during the off season do an internship, and then EAP with the mental health aspects of things. Those are the pillars that we work with.
Man, that's awesome. I know, Eric, you've been there for a long time, man, not only as a player, but I think, Josh, I know you're on mute right now. Josh, you wanted to ask something more, a little bit more detailed around that, right?
Absolutely. So, I know after you left here, you went to the Raiders, I think, for a season.
Yes.
So after your career ended, how did you link back up with Cincinnati to obtain this position?
Yeah, so when I left Cincinnati, I kept my home here. I'm a native Ohioan. I was born in Cleveland. I grew up in Michigan, so all of my family is within 3 or 4 hours away. We kept our home here while I was out in LA. Once the season was over, I came back. That following season in '96, we were negotiating with the Raiders for me to return. And we had a contract agreement with the general manager. But from my understanding, Al Davis didn't approve the contract. So I didn't sign with anyone that season. And I said, by September, if I'm not with the club, I'm just going to go ahead and retire. And so I went and sought after work. I worked at a local bank here for about 3 years. And then it was in 2000 that Troy reached out. And about that time is when the league had mandated for this position to exist with every club. So I interviewed with Troy Blackburn for it. And, I tried to keep my cool when he was asking me if I was interested in the job. Interesting enough, I had already known about the job because one of my friends who worked in Detroit was inquiring about me taking this position with the Lions, going back to Michigan and working as the player engagement director there. But that didn't come to fruition, and then I winded up accepting the position with Cincinnati.
Well, brother, we're glad you're here, man. I know you've been here for a long time. We've been seeing you all over the place on the sidelines and everything, man. So we're happy you got to stay, man.
Oh, I am too. I've been able to. It's been a blessing to be in one spot. This is with the organization. Let's see, 22 years in this position, 6 playing for them. So 28 years with the Bengals, 29 years in the NFL.
All right, it's time to get a little bit of ownership in the organization now.
No, I don't want them problems.
I'm just playing. Hey, so Eric, I know you probably haven't watched the show hardly, but I'm just going to tell you, every time we have a guest on, we have to make you feel a little uncomfortable. We have to find a video from the past that we find Well, I didn't need to go very far, EB, and finding a video for you here. Maybe just a year. The video's been on YouTube, maybe just a year or so. So we're going to have to talk about this. So we'll, Jamie, if you could play this video for us, I appreciate it. I think it's the second video.
Wildflower honey, because I don't have a specific crop here. This is gorgeous. Whoa. Yeah, this is a full frame right here. It's extended out. I would say this is probably clover because it's dark, or it could be, you know, from one of the other trees out here. Heck, if you want to, you can stick your finger in there and get you a fresh lick.
Like this?
Yep. Yep, right there. But being able to stick my finger in the comb and just, you know, get that fresh honey. There's a difference between, you know, store-bought honey and honey that's straight out the hive. The hives come in either 8.
So EB, that was really you, man. You're a beekeeper?
Man, I thought you said you were gonna make me feel uncomfortable, man. That's my sweet spot right there. Talk about my girls.
I had other videos I didn't want to go to. I thought this would be more fun.
I appreciate that. You looking out for me. But yeah, I started beekeeping probably about 7 years ago. It was just an interest I had. I had a friend of mine who is out on the farm out there in Mount Orb. And I spent probably a year asking him, you know, questions about the hive, asking him to teach me about the hive. And, you know, it was one of those things that he was like, yeah, I'll show you. And for me, if I decide to do something, I'll start researching it. So I got me a book, Beekeeping for Dummies. I started reading books, started reading articles, starting to look at YouTube videos. And then I volunteered at a local farm here, the Gorman Farm. And they had a few hives over there. So I spent about a year before I decided to do it. And then I bought my equipment and just been doing it ever since. I love it.
Man, so that was on the Bengals website. And I think, did the Bengals do that piece?
No, actually, Megan Vogel, she did that. And I forget, it was one of the local stations that you know, we got together, and I think they just re-aired it.
Well, next time, everybody that's watching right now, next time you see EB somewhere, man, ask her for some honey. Because
believe me, I get that. Every time I walk in the building, the players want some, the coaches want some, you know. So yeah, there is a difference.
I can see you putting them in that little plastic bear things and putting the honey in there and selling it, man. Come on.
Listen, my wife don't let me do it in the house because I get honey everywhere and it just gets sticky, you know.
We need some plastic tigers, Houday honey. There it goes.
Yeah, there you go.
There you
go. It's called
John.
EB's. It's called EB's honey. That's what we got.
Nice. I thought that was a really cool piece, EB. It's really neat to kind of see, you know, you look like you can still play some ball and you played for the Bengals, and then you see other side of people's lives, man, just doing that stuff. I think that's really cool. You were able to share that with people in that video. I thought that was really neat, buddy. So that's good stuff.
Thank you.
So, okay, let's go to college, man, because I remember being an 18-year-old young buck watching the Rose Bowl. I'm sorry, I was 16, junior in high school, watching the Rose Bowl, 1986. So we're going to play a quick video here, and then we're going to talk about it, EB. So this is 1986 Rose Bowl, UCLA versus Iowa.
Good fake. And that's Eric Ball for a touchdown. Oh, big hole for Ball on the outside. 30. Touchdown, UCLA. 6. Ball. And he's having one. 3 touchdowns for Eric Ball. Second down and a couple. Ball on his way to tie the Rose Bowl record. 4 touchdowns for Eric Ball.
So EB, at the time, a Rose Bowl record, 4 touchdowns. You had some studs that played with you in that backfield too, man. So 45-28, you beat Iowa in the 86 Rose Bowl, man. Talk about that. Game's got to be ingrained in your head. You probably remember every play from that game.
I'll tell you what, we really had a great team. those guys there during that time, we're still close. They're probably we were just matter of fact, it's Mike Farr's birthday today, and there's probably about 40 of us that's on one of these apps that we communicate a few times a week with one another. But we bonded together. I would say my junior and senior year, after Troy came in, the team got to be even closer and performed even better. While I was there, I would say we were part of. I think UCLA went to 7 bowls in a row, and I was there for 5 of them. So it has great and fond memories for me with the relationships that we built over that time, and that Rose Bowl put my hometown on the map. Before then, nobody had ever heard of Ypsilanti, Michigan. So it was fun watching people pronounce it.
Cool.
Yeah, it's good stuff, man. That was a fun game to watch. I remember watching that game specifically. I don't think you started that game, but you came in pretty early in that game. So, Edie, talk about some of the guys you played with on that UCLA team. I think there's a few guys that made it to the NFL as well, right?
Well, just a couple. Between my junior and senior year, we probably had 17 guys get drafted. So Troy Aikman, who's in the Hall of Fame now, he was our quarterback after he transferred from Oklahoma, came to UCLA. I would say Ken Norton Jr., he has a few Super Bowls, as well as Mike Lodish. Mike is one of those guys that he was in the right place at the right time. The years that he was in Buffalo, I think he winded up with 4 or 5 rings because he was in Buffalo during their time that they made the run. Appearances, not rings, because I forgot Buffalo went, but they didn't win.
That's right.
But then he went to Denver following. So besides him, James Washington, Ken Norton Jr., we've had quite a few guys. Gaston Green, Gaston was the person who actually started doing the Rose Bowl, got injured, and then I came in. But he went on and played, had a good career. Willie Anderson, I don't know if you remember him, but Flipper wound up playing with the Rams. So we had a number of guys.
Got it. Tom, I think you had a few things you wanted to run by him as well.
Yeah, Eric, when you came here to the Bengals, certainly it was a very talented team just coming off a Super Bowl. You added to that. But your second year here, 1990, a lot of people don't seem to remember. That's how the 90s started, was with a division title. But tell us about that year. I mean, that was a grinded out year. Every game you guys seemed to win. I mean, it was with guts and your teeth clenched and the same. The losses were all very, very close. It might have been Sam Weich's best year of coaching here. But do you have any memories of that season?
I think that's where they came up with that phrase, the cardiac kids, because that was one of those things that each and every game, it was just coming down to the final minutes of the game, and we were able to squeak them out. And if I remember correctly, it was just one of those ones that the guys believed they could do it. They came in, and obviously coming off of the previous year, the success that they've had, it's one of those things. Again, it comes down to the team bonding. The guys got along together. We spent time together off the field, in the community. We hung out together. So that's one of the things that sticks out to me about that club at the time.
Yeah.
And with your current role with the team, what do you find new guys in Cincinnati need the most? I mean, is it little things like, where do I go to get my hair cut? Or if they got, who do I talk to find a good pediatrician for my kids or so forth? What's the main thing that guys come to you with?
It's a little bit of all of the above. It's a case by case because every guy is coming from a different background. Some may have better resources available to them than others. The agents are on top of it. They have familiarity with the city. Some of them, during this period of time, like, the drafted guys, they can take the chance and opportunity to go ahead and get themselves a place. Whereas the free agents, they're like, hey, what should I do? And it's my job really to, help them and give them good advice. And so, at this time, until you've made the club, Don't spend that money. You get put up in the hotel for training camp. Once the 53 is made, then we go out and we help them. Some guys are looking for schools for their kids. Obviously the referrals that we have through our medical team there with the trainers and stuff are among the best. So it'll vary. I'm even looking for dog sitters for guys sometimes. So yeah.
That's funny. So EB is, everybody that's watching right now, if you want to throw some questions in the chat area, we'll let EB throw a couple. We'll throw a couple out. We got about 5 more minutes with Eric. He's got a pretty hard stop here for 20 minutes, which is about 8:35. But a lot of people don't know, man. He had almost 600 yards rushing for the Bengals, 11 touchdowns receiving and rushing. He had 115 kickoff returns for almost 2,500 yards. So you did a lot of stuff for the Bengals, man. You ran the ball, you caught the ball, you were special teams guru as well. One of the things we like to ask, we'd like to ask you, EB, is we're big time on Bengals memorabilia, man. And Josh, my buddy here, is one of the biggest memorabilia collectors in the country for the Bengals stuff. But I mean, do you have any specific memorabilia from college or something that you have hanging around the house that you love telling stories about? Eric, you still there, buddy?
He may have froze up on us.
He sure did. So we're gonna have Eric kind of sign back in. We're gonna type it in here for him. Hold on 1 second, guys. We're gonna get him back on here.
And I hope the bees didn't get him.
Yeah.
I got a question. How is he bigger now than he's ever been? He looks like a damn defensive end. Is that the honey or?
He does look good.
He was the same way, Josh, when he
huge.
was on Solomon Wilcots. I mean, went from a stud safety. He looks like a stud outside linebacker, borderline defensive end now.
Right, yeah.
They still look flawless.
Yeah, he's signing back in. As he signs back in, I know we have quite a few questions in here. We'll try to get to a few of these if we can. But type some questions. Greg, there's a bunch of good ones in here. Hollis, we're going to try to get yours up here as well. That's a good question there, Greg, about one of his favorite players that he interacted with. So we'll see what's going on here, guys. All right. Well, let's go ahead and go and talk a little bit about some memorabilia. And here he comes. See if
he's back.
I'm sorry, I don't know what happened. We love technology, don't we?
Now we kicked you out, man. We were trying to get rid of you.
It's all good. I'm going to rephrase the question, EB. I'm a big memorabilia guy, collect a lot of stuff. Is there anything from your UCLA days or your Bengal days that you kept that you have a fond memory of that you like to share?
Oh, man. So from my UCLA days, I have quite a fit. I still have my UCLA helmet. I have my Rose Bowl jersey. No, I'm sorry. My Rose Bowl jersey got stolen. How about that? Yeah. You know the deals. You get some workers in your house and whatnot, and whatever happened, all of a sudden you go down there years later, and it's not where it's supposed to be. So the jersey's gone. I have my MVP trophy, Rose Bowl MVP trophy, and Rose Bowl Hall of Fame trophy. So those are some of the things. I have my helmet from the Bengals. I have a few of my jerseys. So those are some of the things that I cherish from my playing days.
Yeah, actually, one of the questions here is from Hollis, who's also a collector with us as well. Jamie, if you could throw that up there, and I'll try to read it off. It says, Hollis is asking basically, did you keep your 1994 throwback jersey?
1994 throwback. I did. Matter of fact, I did. I kept the whole thing. So I got the socks, the pants.
Oh,
and the top.
That's what's up.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is what's up.
That's nice.
That was
Very
pretty cool. Now, the one thing I wish that we did, and I don't remember if we did that, was those helmets. If they actually would have put us in the Bengal helmet versus, the stripes, that would have been pretty cool.
Yeah. That's neat. That's really cool. So we're going to throw some questions up here, Eric, from some of the viewers here. Jamie, you can randomly put up whoever you want. There's a bunch of good ones in there, but this one right here is coming from Greg. Eric, who's your favorite player you've ever interacted with? That's a tough one.
That is tough because there's so many good guys. some of guys that I still stay in touch with, my teammates, and good guys that go all the way back from college. Mel Farr Jr. Was a good close family friend. Right now, Tim McGee, Barney Bussey, Ira Hillary, Joe Kelly, those guys that I hadn't played with, that I stay in contact with. It's a number of guys.
That's cool. We'll throw a couple more up here. Okay. Oh yeah, this is a good question. Hey, so I know the answer because you're from that. We don't say the C word. You said Michigan and the C word on this show. That's never happened before. But
boy.
So your most hated team, Pittsburgh or the city up north?
Oh, most definitely the black and yellow now. That
Yes,
right there. There's no greater. I mean, that gets the blood pumping, and it's so funny because I have many good friends. Merrill Hodge and I are very good friends, and I was just thinking about this the other day. He and I had gone on a hunting trip, and we have our rivalry. We were respectful with one another, going back and forth and whatnot. And we're down in Abbeville, South Carolina, on a hunting trip, and we take a break and go golfing. So we're on the golf course, and on the back nine, you got to go through the path and whatnot, and you're passing these houses. And on the back of one of these houses, a freaking Steeler Nation flag, black and yellow. And he reaches over to me and says, "You can't get away from us, E. You can't get away from us. We're everywhere." And I had to say, "Shut the hell up," and then move on.
I hope it was more than just shut the hell up, Evie, but you just can't, I feel you. I
had to be respectful, but it's definitely that black and yellow.
Yeah, good, man. We're the same way with that one. So it's Scott Gibbs from Scotland wants to know your toughest opponent that you had to play against.
Back in those days, it was definitely within our division, between Cleveland and Pittsburgh. Those were always rivals. Sam had a love for Houston, right?
Yes,
that was always a fun game to play in as well.
Yeah, we got a couple more up here. So do you see a change with the direction of the Bengals? Now you're in the front office now. You get to interact with not just the players, but the front office. You've been there a long time, EB. So from when you first got there to today, I mean, what do you see changing? I mean, the last couple of years, we see a lot of changes outside, but we want to get your take and your opinion on that as well.
Oh yeah, I definitely see a lot of changes. Just over the years, from when I first there. ML's effect, Marvin Lewis, when he came in, he was probably one of the first coaches who came from the outside, of the organization, who was not a part of the organization, that coached and brought in a lot of new ideas and ways of doing things. And then you have Zach now, who's going in with Elizabeth Blackburn, joining the organization, and Caroline as well. Things have moved, I would say progressed, to where we're doing things differently, thinking about things differently, especially with Zach, that come out from the West Coast. He's bringing in new ideas as well. At least that's on the football field. And then you see the changes within the organization, catching up with all the technology. Heck, I got to figure out how to get my tickets going this year on the electronic thing.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I got to catch up.
So Eric, real quick, man, are you okay with a couple more questions, buddy?
Sure.
Okay.
Awesome, because I have one that I feel is really important, and it actually just hit me. But then I thought you might be the best guy to ask this question to. Some of our guests over the past couple of weeks have expressed a timidness to come back to Cincinnati after they leave. They always say the same thing. I left Cincinnati on bad terms, and I was scared to come back. But when I did, I felt the love of the fans. So we have kind of brought that to fruition. We've talked to Shane Graham, who said he had an ugly exit. We talked to Willie Anderson, Corey Dillon. We didn't talk to, but he's been very vocal about that in the past. What do you have to say about some of these players that have left on bad terms, and when they come back, they feel this love that we still have for you guys, yourself? I mean, is there anything that you could put out there that the way that these guys feel when they get back here?
You know, I think that
Ooh, I really wanted that answer too.
The last question of the night, and we
The bees got him. The bees got him.
All right. Last time he signs back in to answer that last question. Jamie's in the background just freaking out right now.
That's a topic that we have discussed behind the scenes for weeks now, and I thought, wow, he's actually in a great position to.
Yeah, you know what, Josh? That's a really good question, because he's interacting with all those players that we've talked about just now. He knows these guys, and he was ready. He was ready to answer that question. So I hope he logs back.
I know he was, and I thought, man, what a better guy to ask this question to. I wanted it so bad, and then he froze up on us.
Yeah, so Jamie's in the background now. This is what we call a cliffhanger, man. We did this on purpose. We kicked him out just to kind of keep you holding here, viewing for a little bit longer. So we'll give him another second here to log back in for one more here.
I'll say this. I'll ask you two guys while we're waiting for Eric. You know, of all the guys that have left here, and some guys have been cut, waived, traded, free agency, whatever, I can really only think of one guy that I would not want to sit down, talk to, share some chicken wings with, shake his hand, thank him for his efforts.
Who?
As a Bengal and who would I not?
Hold on. Does it start with C?
Yes.
And with P?
Yes.
Number 9?
No.
Yeah.
He's talking
know
about.
what? I can speak for James too. He feels the same way.
Wait a minute. You're talking about Carson Palmer?
That's the one.
I could have been talking about Carl Pickens.
No,
that's just
I love
he
me
stood
some
us up
CP.
on here. Actually, that's the guy that got my career started here because he stood you guys up that night.
I spent like 4 hours putting stuff together for that show. I was so excited, and then he no-showed. Then he ghosted us forever. But well, hey, I tell you what, guys, we're going to just probably move on here. I'm trying to see if I have a text message or any message from him at all. If he comes back on, we'll get that last question answered. But let's go ahead and move on here. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the memorabilia segment. So we got some really big news towards the end of this segment. Something Josh has been working on for a long time. And so this is going to be a lot of fun. So let's go ahead and start our memorabilia segment right now, Josh, and let's go ahead and roll some of the stuff we wanted to look at.
Okay, this is actually a Cincinnati Pro Star Portraits that came out in 1970. You basically needed this book to even start this collection. 1970, there was a company named Volp. They made prints and they made cups that you could find in local stores. Very old portraits. We'll get back to this in just 1 second. Go to the next slide. And then I want to talk about these tonight. These are the 1981 prints that were given to fans from the Shell gas stations. You would go in and you would fill up your gas tank, and you were given one of these for a week up to 6 weeks. Anthony Munoz was one of them. There's Ken Anderson, our potential Hall of Famer in 2022. Also, they had the Samurai, Reggie Williams there. There's Archie Griffin. Sorry, keep going. Pat McAnally, and last but not least, Ross Browner. So, like I said, so you go and you fill up your gas tank. You go inside, pay the attendant back then, because they pump your gas for you, and they would give you one of these Cincinnati Bengals black and white prints. They did this for all 28 teams back then. There was only 28 instead of 32. But those are really great collectibles, and there's 6 total. So just a really great collectible there. On the next slide, we'll go back to that orange book that I showed you at the beginning. So this is the Cincinnati Pro Star Portraits, once again, 1970, from Volk Portraits and Cups. This is Jess Phillips, a running back in the late 1960s, early 70s. The next slide here is Bob Trumpy and Sam Weish, the late Sam Weish. Those were 2 of them. So inside the book here, this is Paul Robinson that I actually have in the book. So you can see that they you would put the portrait on the right page, and on the left, as you flip through, they would put a small profile of each player. Paul Robinson, running back, who has a college, his height and his weight, where he's born, his date of birth, and then like a small profile of that player. This is an extremely rare book, an extremely rare collectible. You do find the prints out and about. We got EB back.
Let's go ahead and flip. EB, the last question, man. So sorry about that, man. I'm not sure what's going on.
That's probably my network. I'm sorry, network. So I just jumped on my phone real quick. So I apologize.
You got like T-Mobile or something? What's going on?
Man, listen. Okay, you exactly right. I got T-Mobile, man. They switched me over from Sprint, and I'm pissed off about it, man. With Sprint, I can't even take a phone call in my house anymore. So yes.
Well, hey, EB, the last question. We appreciate you dialing back in. Josh had a great question for you, but I'm going to recap that question for you. So, we've talked to Willie Anderson and Shane Graham and all these guys that kind of left on bad terms. Corey Dillon and all these guys didn't want to come back to Cincinnati. They were scared. And once they got back in town, they felt the love of the fans, man. They're like, man, I can't believe I didn't come back sooner. You got any insight on that at all, or hear the same stories?
I have heard the same stories, and I appreciate everybody, who wants to come back. I had a great time. If it would be the 50th reunion, if you remember, a few years ago when we had our 50th anniversary, and every year, the guys, every week, we had players come back. There were like 25, 30 former players with the Bengals, and they had a great time. I mean, they would come in on the weekends. On Friday, Saturday, they would have a luncheon or a dinner that night. The guys would get together, tell stories. They show up Sunday morning, go to the games, and I would really like for us to do more of that. Unfortunately, I can't say why we haven't done more of it, but it's one of those things that the guys had a good time. It was great to see everyone. And to have those guys come back, I think it helps the young guys as well, getting to see and create that legacy that the guys have had, being with the organization.
Yep. Well, Evie, man, hey, I can't begin to tell you how much it means to us and everybody that's watching right now. You taking some time with us tonight. You got to understand, Evie, you were part of Cincinnati football history forever. And it's really cool, important to us because we put you in a category with the OGs. Those are our old guys that have been around for a while. And we want this younger generation, not just to – we remember vividly Eric Ball back in the day, right, and our players from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. But, man, we want this younger generation to know our former players as well, man, to get to know you. And that's why we think it's important that you come on with us. And it really meant a lot spending some time with us tonight, EB.
Man, thank you for having me. I apologize for the bad connections, even though it's not my doing. But, you guys are great, and I appreciate the good questions as well.
Yeah, no problem. We just would like a pint of honey. That's all we want, man. We want some EB honey.
I'll throw you on the list.
We appreciate it, man. Thank you. Thank you, EB. Hoo-day, buddy.
All right. Stay healthy. Hoo-day.
Man, I threw out T-Mobile, and yeah, you're right. I do have T-Mobile.
I haven't heard anybody on this show so angry since Eddie Edwards threatened to come up here and beat the hell out of you, Jimmy.
Let's keep going on this because I have this. Thanks. That was really cool. Thanks for joining us watching Eric Ball. He is awesome. But keep going on this because I have a story around this one as well, Josh.
Cool. There's the Mike Reed print once again. The portrait on the right. Yeah, Mike Reed. My dad was a huge Mike Reed fan. He left after 4 or 5 years here in Cincinnati to pursue his music career. But, I mean, man, he was a monster. Sacks, Pro Bowls. I mean, he would have been an all-time. I mean, maybe a top 10 Cincinnati Bengal of all time if he wouldn't have cut his career short. The final print on here is Bill Berge, who also, once again, potentially a great Cincinnati Bengal legend if he wouldn't have been traded to the Eagles. So, like I said, I'll leave it on closing on these. There's also 6 on this set. It's an extremely rare set. You do find them, but the book is hard to find. Right behind Jimmy, you can see some of the Volpe prints he's got on his wall behind him. But what did you want to add about the Volpes?
Yeah. So what's really cool about this, so I have those prints. I only have the prints, not the book. So I didn't know there was a book till you and I sat down for the first time, Josh. Right? So
That's right. That's
I
right.
actually I have all 6 of those prints framed up in one frame. But so being, Josh made a great point here. It's not just so I have the prints and not the book. You see these prints anywhere, you see this book anywhere, snatch it, grab it up, because I have not seen those prints anywhere since I found mine. So they're really hard to come by.
Yeah, I actually found out about the book, and I drove an hour to get it. So,
yep. There you go.
Next slide, the helmet. Okay, so this is building up to my big announcement tonight, the Anthony Munoz Foundation. Now, I want to put a small disclaimer. This is a full-size helmet I got. I obtained through the foundation a few years back. I am not affiliated with the foundation. I have not been in touch with them yet. I plan to do that in the very near future. But I've been working on something, and it's the main reason I did all the bobbleheads last week. I am trying to start a small Cincinnati Bengals-based bobblehead collection for myself and all you guys that watch. I know that there's a lot of people that have reached out to me about the memorabilia I've showed and want to get involved in collecting and ask all kinds of great questions about collecting. So if you could go to the final slide, Jamie.
Hold on. This is the drum roll, please, right here.
So I have been in contact with multiple facilities about this bobblehead right here. Myself with Bengal Jim and Friends and Tom and the guys, we've been on the show. Heirloom Framing, my guys Andy and Hollis down at the shop, and Foco Sports. I've gone through them and got with the rights to the NFL Players Association and Foco for the Anthony Munoz bobblehead. He's on the Ring of Honor base for this year's Ring of Honor. This is the only actual Anthony Munoz bobblehead that there is, besides the little miniature one that Florence Freedom did a couple years back. It's going to be out this Christmas. It's going to be delivered between December 1st and December 14th. I created an email address there at the bottom, cincybobs@yahoo.com. Like I said, it won't be here till Christmas, but if you're interested, please shoot me an email at cincybobs@yahoo.com. It's just going to be a really great collectible. Anthony Munoz, like I said, does not have a bobblehead. Once again, reiterating, I did this through Foco, through the NFL Players Association. It's a legal NFL trademark bobblehead. And as we sell these, I'm going to be donating a portion of the proceeds to the Anthony Munoz Foundation. So it's going to be a great venture for everyone, and I'm really excited about it. So I hope that you all are interested. It will be limited to 288 total bobbleheads, and I've already lined up where Anthony Munoz is going to get a really great amount of them. So it will be pretty exclusive. So I'm really excited about it.
So yeah, as you guys watch this, you guys are hearing this for the first time. There's nobody outside this group that you see on the screen that knows about this, except for the people at Foco. So if you're interested, I'll make sure you send an email there. Josh, do they have a price point on this at this point, or
not yet? I'm still dealing with the technicalities of what it's going to cost to make one, and I want to get up with the foundation about how I can make donations. So we will put that out there very soon.
Yep, very cool. Josh, that's freaking awesome, man. To be on the Ring of Honor base as well. Yeah. Freaking love it, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, hey, guys, let's go ahead and close the show out here. And Tom, we'll kind of let you start it off for us.
Big week, first preseason game coming up this week, so we can start to get an idea about some of our guys. Listening to Zach Taylor, even though there are only 3 preseason games this year, I wouldn't be shocked if the starters and the names we know best, we don't see much of all. So, but still be a good week, and it'll be fun to see some of the names that are starting to pop out that are going to be exciting and maybe make the team. And also, please, if you're out there, keep the buzz going for Ken Riley, Ken Anderson, and Willie Anderson with the voters. And no matter how things go in August, I know Jimmy ain't going to stop. I'm not going to stop. Josh isn't going to stop. James won't stop, and nor Jamie. So hopefully we can get the voters to do the right thing and get them in Canton. And next time we're not just going to enjoy the parade in Canton itself, but to see one of our own get where they belong, and that's inside the Hall of Fame.
Yep. Josh?
I want to remind everyone about August the 28th, the Bengal Jim and Friends Memorabilia Roadshow. It's coming to you live at 16 lots. We want you to come. It doesn't matter what you participate or just come have a couple beers and some pizza. Del Hall is a great guy that I've gotten to know. They have an awesome establishment, great food, great beer. So just come out and drink a beer, eat some pizza. Now, if you want to get a little more involved, I'm big into memorabilia, and the people that have reached out, I am like just insanely impressed with how many people are wanting to collect like I collect. And we want you to bring something that means something to you. You're going to get on the stage with Jimmy. I believe Tom will be there. Everyone's going to be in the house, all of us. And we're going to do a live show that night. We're going to get on the stage. I want you to show us what you brought. Tell us what it means to you. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be a rubber band that a player pulled out of his hair and threw to you. If it means something to you and there's a great story behind it, we want to hear it. And we promise you that we mean that sincerely. These stories and why we're Bengals fans, that is the best part, and it's why we do it. I've said it every single week since I've been on the show. We are building a monster in Cincinnati, and we are building the best fan base that the NFL has to offer. It just matters that we come together as one and that we enjoy the time while we do it. So please come out on August 28th for the Bengal Jim and Friends Memorabilia Roadshow, and it's going to be a great time.
Yeah, Josh, great point. I had that on my closing as well, but you just made a very good point in your last comment there. Guys, everybody that's watching, there are all types of Bengal fans. And I people, the diehards, the stupid bucket hat guys, the face painted guys, the casual fans. Guys, we need everybody. We need everybody. I don't care what level of fandom you're at. This train is going, and we're going with or without them, right? So we want everybody we can on this train as we continue to move forward. This next decade of Bengals football is going to be outstanding, and it's going to be a lot of fun. There was a few things on here. Somebody asked about the Ken Anderson Alliance beer. It's not selling at all right now. It's going to be out, either tentatively have the date set as September 5th is the date that the beer cans are going to come out, and the half barrels and everything else. I can tell you there will be an awful lot of Ken Anderson beer at the first tailgate against the Minnesota Vikings. We have got a live band playing that night. Ken Anderson will be at the tailgate toasting us with his Ken Anderson day drinking lager. So September 5th is when the beer is supposed to drop officially, just to let you know. I did verify that with Dell again. That's still the tentative date that you're looking at. The other thing, too, that the group that was up in Canton with me, Tony, the Tiger, we were kind of waiting for the parade to get started up in the Hall of Fame up in Canton Saturday. And an awful lot of Steeler fans, because there were some Steelers being inducted up there. But the Steelers had a float, and I don't think it was the organization, but Alan Faneca, I think, was being inducted for the Steelers. They actually had an Alan Faneca's float, a Steelers float with Steeler fans on it. Can you imagine having a Ken Riley float or a Ken Anderson float or a Willie Anderson float next year? So the wheels are turning right now, guys. Let's make sure we get this announcement going here for Ken Riley, Ken Anderson, one of the veterans here. But that would be absolutely outstanding if we were able to do that for one of our legends that get into the Hall of Fame and just make it a big blowout weekend when you got every Bengals fan in the world in Canton that weekend. So again, stay tuned. We're going to find out here very soon who's getting in there. Next Tuesday, remember 8/17, not next Sunday night, next Tuesday, we're going to have a very big special guest. We're going to probably have two special guests, and we're going to have a few season ticket holders, a few new season ticket holders. And we're going to talk about why all of a sudden are there a bunch of new season ticket holders? What enticed them to buy season tickets for the first time in their lives? So we're going to have some fun with that conversation next week. As both Josh and Tom said, keep the positive momentum going for Ken Riley and Ken Anderson right now. If you need any data, any information around, other than just posting, put these guys in the Hall of Fame, if you need, you can do that too, believe me. But if you need any data, any information, we set up a special Twitter account. It's at Bengals HOF, at Bengals Hall of Fame. And there is every piece of data around Ken Anderson, Willie Anderson, Ken Riley that you can possibly find. Scroll through and find them. You can reshare them. You can take them, make them your own. We don't care. Just make sure you get on here and just keep this positive momentum going here. We already talked about the 828 show. Thanks, Josh, for hitting that, guys. But that's it, man. We really appreciate it. It means so much that you guys are tuning in, watching us. And it's funny, we have an awful lot of live viewers on all three social media platforms. And I know not everybody can watch it live, and we get a huge volume of people within 24 to 48 hours. Those numbers double and triple on us on the views. So we appreciate it. Thanks so much. Cannot wait to watch the Bengals game Sunday night. You know, a lot of rookies are going to be playing, but we'll see you guys next Tuesday. Hoo day. We love you guys.
Who day?
Who day?